What's up, everybody? It's that time again. It is time for the weekend review, and so we are going to get right into it with the S&P. The ES has just been a rough trade here lately, guys. As you know, we've been balancing for the past 4 weeks essentially. So what you're seeing right here is the past 3 weeks all put into one. Because we had overlapping value areas. Okay, so I put them all together because, as you guys know, the past couple of weeks have been just back and forth and back and forth, and so we've been able to create this big, large value area. But as you can see here, what they've done is they came down last week and they essentially held the value area low. It was not only a value area low last week, but it was also the value area low of this composite. And as you can see, we closed all the way up here at 6108, which was like way above this composite value area high. And essentially what they did was, as you can see, they balanced here all week, and 70% of our time was spent above the prior couple weeks value area high. So we've balanced up here, essentially creating new value. We've accepted value as this price slowly has moved up over the past 4 weeks now, this being the fourth week. Okay, so we closed at the highs again, 66,008. And so, right now we are looking like we're moving higher. One of the things that makes me believe this is the simple fact that as you look at this profile, you notice we have a nice value area low. We have our regular value area, but where is our value area high? We do not have one. So that tells me we have a bullish imbalance, and that bullish imbalance can take us all the way up 100 points to our 6103.75. We actually have some upside targets up there. There is a daily, in fact, at 6103.75. So kind of ironic that worked out that way, but these things have a tendency to do that. So right now, based on the weekly TPO, we have accepted value over the past month. We have accepted it now above the previous value areas and have essentially established a new price of acceptance for us to move up. So as we continue to traverse higher, let's go ahead and take a look at the other charts now and figure out what is going on. Okay, going to break it down into our weekly time frame. Actually, I'm going to pull the monthly over as well. So as you guys know, we have talked about one specific level over and over and over again throughout the week, and that is 59.72. This is our monthly support to the all-time high that was lost. It's also a weekly level. It's a daily level. It's an everything level. This is the level. This is the level, people. Put it on your chart. Write it down. Mark it down. Tattoo it. I don't care. This is the spot. Okay? So we are going to be using this as our pivot point for more up or down. It is really going to give us a key here. Now we have one more level lower that could potentially play, but this is going to be our main line that we're going to be watching. Okay? 59.72. All right, I'm going to move this over and we're going to get into the weekly here. So the weekly, obviously a lot more levels here. We bumped our head. We almost got it. 60.26. Nearly just missed it at the highs on Friday. But what a great level this was. 6,000 has been our previous resistance. We have bumped our head so many times on this. We sold off from it a couple days ago during the Elon Trump tiff. And now we are back above it. A nice solid close above this support that was lost. The other thing that's really important, the biggest level that's important, is this is the weekly support to the all-time high. Guess what it is? 59.72 once again. Okay, so now we know we've got the monthly, we've got the weekly. This is a big ass level, y'all. All right, write this down, okay? And then we've already played 59.07. So if you recall, the other day, I basically was calling for the 59.10, 59.07. We played it, we progressed up, and then we came and we played another level at 30. So the reason I'm pointing out this 07 is because it is in serious trouble underneath this level from a weekly perspective, and we will get into this very shortly. And quite frank, from a weekly perspective, I don't have anything left untested on the weekly after 59.72. That's how important this level is. So from a weekly perspective, if we get below this thing could be in super big trouble, okay? So everything on the weekly is tested underneath. Above, we have 60.96 for the untested weekly and 61.29.25. Both of these levels should be watched. And I have other confluent levels on smaller time frames, which we'll soon get into here. Now, one of the things you'll notice that I put on this weekly at 60.26 is if we are able to get above this level, we should start to break out. We should come to at least 60.96, and then my next daily level is 61.03. And we're going to go over that when we come down to the dailies here shortly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get away from the weekly now because we know 72 is the last thing we got, and it looks pretty bad underneath that. Okay, so now let's go down to the daily. All right, this is where the fun begins. Okay, so we had a weekly, remember, at 60.26, and directly above that I had the daily at 60.30.75. Technically, this is still not tested, and it very well could pop up and play this, and if it gets back above the 60.26.50 weekly, could set up a nice fade back into support for the long. Okay, so obviously, as you know, look at this, 59.73. Boy, now we've got 59.72.25 is the weekly and the monthly, and we have the daily at 59.73. And I'll just kind of do a little spoiler alert for you. There's a 4-hour here as well. Okay, there's also a naked POC from Thursday. It's a really good spot. All right, so holding this like this, I just want to show you if they do not fade from 60.30.75, and by all means, this should get a reaction. This, once again, is the support to the all-time high, okay? So this is a monster level. It's huge, right? So they could still come up and play this level and pull back into support. For me, my two big levels are 59.84.75, is which we played Friday. This thing was the low of the RTH session on Friday, played perfect, and popped us back up. But this daily right here, 59.73, this is a monster for me. This is a huge leg down. We've now regained this, and if they play this top down, I want to buy this. Okay, it's not only, if you'll see, it says 2 times daily. It's this top down and the leg to the all-time high. Here's another reason why it's important. Check that out. Boing. See that leg to the all-time high? Look what that matches up with. 72.25. This is a banger. Okay, so I'm going to keep my eye on that. Now, we don't know. We have to assume just probabilities, right? We have to assume probabilities. But below that, if this doesn't hold, we have 59.55, which is a great level here. You'll see it better on the 4-hour. And then we have 59.50. Okay, this is the daily leg up. I put watch because it looks like it almost got tested, but it didn't. Okay, so I would still be very interested in buying this area. We have 59.49 as a 4-hour, and so is 59.39. So we'll look at that way more when we get to that point. However, check this out. Underneath 59.50 from a daily perspective, this thing is toast. So remember, I said underneath 70s on the weekly, this was toast, right? Underneath 59.72.25, I said from a weekly perspective, it looks bad. Well, we have a daily that lines up. Obviously, continuation back above 84 is what you're looking for here. And then if this doesn't hold, again, like I said, we have this level down here at 55 to 50, which is fantastic. I do like this. But again, once it gets down in here, we have to look for it to get back above the 59.73, knowing how massive that is. If that happens, this thing should really kick it into high gear and start to squeeze pretty hard, getting us back over 84.75 daily, and then starting to progress all the way up once again. Because technically speaking, these are both legs. This is a top down here at 73, right? But this is technically the new leg up here around 55.50. So if they pull down into there, I wouldn't be sweating quite yet because we did absolutely gain. We had a nice solid gain on Friday. On Wednesday, we closed above 73, which I was happy to see. And they stayed the close above it. Then they had this little kind of crazy news where we stopped out, or where we closed around 50. And then they came down and they played this and basically gapped back open towards the highs and closed for a nice true gain. So this was a solid ordeal here, and which makes me confident to continue to buy. Okay, but again, remember, underneath 59.50.25 from a daily perspective, she's got problems. Okay, and it's a little bit more detailed than that, and we'll see what happens when we go into the 4-hour. But underneath 59.10, this thing is just absolute curtains. 59.10 is a tested daily leg up, and I have it in red just so you can see there's nothing underneath here. Okay, now if we do come down below that, we're going to come down and we're going to check out 58.28.75. This is an untested level, and 58.17.50 is tested. But this is just a zone essentially that could potentially hold. This is a very large level. Okay, now down here I actually have this daily leg, It says no gain, but that's not true. I need to correct that. This actually could play very well now that we finally had this close here on Friday. 57.84. This could be the savior. Doubt it, but you know, if it comes down here, the 100-day moving average is down there, which is great at 57.94.77. Also looks like, just speaking of, I just saw this around this 58.28.75. The 200-day moving average is there as well at 58.28. So nice confluence. Now let's assume that we don't pull back anywhere. Let's just assume that they play this and we continue to progress higher. Our upside daily targets, guys, 6103.75 and 6122.50. As you can see, both of these played really nicely, okay? And so we've got some love here, guys. Both of these could play, and they are the highest untested. I would be looking for reactions up there. You know, I normally wouldn't fade this monster trend, but both of these levels look like they could produce a pretty nice pullback. And obviously, they could just be setting up for a nice buy the dip opportunity. But, you know, if I was going to play the reversal and scalp a little bit, these two levels would be a great spot to do that. Okay, so that's what I got on the daily, guys. That's what we're looking at. I think it's pretty crystal clear. I tried to, you know, keep it pretty simple here. 60, 30, 75 still to the upside. Looking for 73 on the pullback, worst case, 55, 50, 59.55 through 59.50 on the lower side as far as the dailies are concerned. Okay, now let's go ahead and get the 4 hour in the mix here. I want you guys to check this out. So here's my 4 hour. Obviously, you know, for the 4 hour, I've got some levels up higher that, you know, some of them are confluent with other daily levels, and some of them aren't, and that's okay. So to the upside from here, I've got 60, 61.25 is an untested 4 hour. I'm actually going to throw this other stuff on here. So check this out. So I got a monthly level at 60, 63.75 and a 60, 67.25. There is single prints up to 60, 65 and a 4 hour at 60, 61.25. Now, I wouldn't recommend shorting this train ever, but this is a good place to take some profit. There's a lot of reasons to believe that this area could get a reaction. Obviously, our bullish imbalance points us to way up higher, but that doesn't mean they're going to get there in a straight line. So, you know, as we're starting to come up and we're looking to reduce and take some profits, this is a good spot. Okay, we have some more singles that get filled up around 60.81, and then finally there's that monster leg down up here around 60.96. Actually, this is a mini one. It says a mini leg. All right, 60.96. Funny enough, there's actually a naked POC at 60.95. This area is another spot that could get a reaction. And then look, the bullish imbalance takes us all the way up to 6103.75, which is exactly where our daily level's at to the tick. And directly above that, we also have singles that take us to 6113, which lines up perfectly with an untested 4 hour we have. And then again, you'll see here's the 6122 daily. And then here is the highest untested high lost up here on the weekly side, 6129.25. This is a big, this needs to happen up here. And then here's the last little bit of 4 hours I have before we make a new all-time high, 6139.75 and 6138. This would be a great place to watch for a potential pullback reaction on the scalp if you're not already long. If you're already long, you know, it's your call what you want to do, but this is pretty close to the all-time highs, and so, you know, who knows, maybe they smack there and get a nice pullback before the next ride up. So all good places to take profits, and just clearly by talking about the dailies and scalping and stuff, I like the 6103.75 the best if I was looking to, you know, pull a little short-sided action. It finishes the bullish imbalance, it plays a daily, you can use this weekly to get underneath, et cetera, et cetera. But again, this thing is on the move up, guys. There's no reason to even think about shorts unless you're just scalping around a little bit. For now, we are still in buy the dip mode territory, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and just get, you know, you can see on this 4 hour here, this is the 59.70 area. So as I hide these drawings, you'll see 59.74.25. It's a great 4 hour. This is also the same spot I was telling you, daily, weekly. It's, you know, it's got everything. It's got the POC. It's got a weekly VWAP here. from last week. I mean, this is a great level, and it has been for a long time. This is a huge significant above below for us, okay? And, in the most immediate term as well, just to let you know, we do have some 4-hour support here at 59.93.25. I'll show you what it looks like on the 1 hour. It very well could play. It's actually another 1 hour as well. I have some weird feelings about whether I should actually take this trade, which we'll talk about shortly. I'm going to go ahead and hide these other levels, and you'll see I have a 4 hour over here at 59.49, which is very much untested. And then we've got the leg up right here at 59.39.75. So I like this area too. Those dailies are down in here as well. So it seems we did gain on everything. As much as I want to see 74 play and go, we talked about the dailies down in the 50-55 range. I would be willing to buy this area, okay, and look for a reaction. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out is, we came down in here the other day and we played this 59.30, 59.24 area. We talked about this way before it happened. I said be willing to buy this zone, and lo and behold, it happened in the middle of the night. If they come down here and get underneath 59.30, I would probably be willing to buy the sweep of 59.23.75 and then the reclaim back above 30. So I would wait to see if this is going to play. This is a low of the day, guys. So we would wait for it to get back above this daily, and this is where we would essentially want to enter our position, because at that point, yes, we've missed 7 points off the lows or 6 points, but it doesn't matter because now we're back above previous day's lows, so we're in a previous day's range. We're back above daily support. We know this is a big daily, and so it kind of begins to move us up until we get back above 55, 72, et cetera, et cetera. So just giving you guys some ideas on how to play this if we end up coming lower. Okay. Now I've said this quite a few times. And I said this on Friday as well, or Thursday too. I was bullish, absolutely bullish, above 59.30, and then we played it. And prior, I had told everybody I'm really bullish above 07.10. Well, they came and played this. Now we come up and we played this. Okay, so technically this thing, we don't want to see it get below 10. There's nothing under here until we get all the way down here to 58.28. Okay, there's just nothing here. There's a 4 hour down here, actually, I see that I missed at 58.65, and then the weekly's down here too. They could sweep this, pull a little fill breakdown, and go, which would be cool or whatever, but we really don't want to see it get below this 10 area, okay? And ultimately, it's really 30 now. Now that we're in progression, as you can see, this is our getting below this pivot is deadly. And so that's why I said we really want to see it play the 24 and get back above 30 immediately and kind of reclaim this, because if not, I don't think nothing happens. We just kind of lose it, right? And so as we started to walk up, so does my we don't want to lose areas. And now I'm basically moving this back up to 30. I would be okay with a sweep into 24 and a reclaim, but that is it, guys. I may try a little long down here for a scalp or something if it works, but really it doesn't look good underneath this 10, and it starts to really get bad under 30. And the main area that we want to stay above is 72. So even if we come play 55, we want to see it get back above 72 pretty quickly. And you could even add it into your position above this if we end up coming down here. So that's what I got, guys. I mean, you can see on my 1 hour, it's pretty crispy. Everything makes sense on here. This is what I was telling you about. I've got this area here at 93. It's also a 1 hour. My only issue is we didn't gain here, so we could just come down and do this and then play this area. So I'm a little cautious about this. The only thing is we didn't lose on the 1 hour. We gained on the 1 hour. Anything can happen here. So, right now we're above 84. It's also the previous weekly POC. We could continue to just come down, play this, and go up. I don't know. I obviously prefer this sweet spot, but knowing how big that daily was at 58, 84, 75, that may not happen. And then again, you'll see here, this is that 60-26 weekly I said we got super close to. They never tested the daily at 30. So they could come up here and test this and get back under 26 and still come down. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. These are all speculation, right? But the levels are obviously super clear for you guys. You can see what's going on here. You can see what's going on here. Finally, last little 4 hour under here. Here's your sweep play. Yesterday's low. Get down under here, whatever. But this is going to be the spot here that we're going to be using for progression, both up and down. So hope that helps everybody out. Have a great one. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Cheers.